Steve Mariucci returns to the usual Mondays with Mooch spot here on the Rich Eisen Show. On the phone this time. How are you, Mooch?
I'm good, Rich. How are you? Good morning, guys.
Same to you, Steve. What to make of Osweiler? Do we pump the brakes a little bit here and say that Manning still could come back in the mix here in mid-December, late December, or this is it now after what he did last night, Steve?
Yeah, what a game that was. What a game. In the snow, and overtime, the whole thing. And I think, the Gary Kubiak needs to just keep saying, well, we'll take it 1 week at a time here, because the jury is out on a lot of things. The jury is out on Peyton's health. Will he ever come back healthy? The jury is... it's becoming a little clearer that Brock Osweiler could be their guy. They've got to find out before the rest of the year's over if they want to sign him to a long-term contract. And so far, so good. He's not spectacular, but he's winning. He's finding a way. He's very intriguing in terms of arm strength and size and mobility and all the things that he might be able to do very well. I think the Denver fans are hopeful that he's their future.
No, I know that, Steve, but it's interesting what you said. Kubiak should take it week to week. He shouldn't come out and say, that's it, or...
I don't think he's going to say that's it. I don't. Do you? I don't think he's going to say that's it. I don't think he's going to pull the rug out from Peyton Manning, who's trying to get healthy.
Right.
I think he's going to give him the courtesy of trying to rehab the best way he can to see if he can get back on the field. But I think in the back of his mind, I think there's probably some doubt that he will be healthy enough to play well.
Well, what are you seeing from Osweiler at the controls that we weren't seeing for Peyton Manning, Steve? What are you seeing?
It's obviously the one to the layperson is just, all right, this guy's a heck of an athlete. He's more mobile. He runs around. He can extend plays. They can run the keeps and the movement plays when they want to. Peyton didn't do that, and also that helps their run game. Anytime, Rich, you have a mobile quarterback who hands off the stretch play and boots out the back door with or without the ball, the backside of the defense has to stay home. It helps the cutback lane. It's so much more beneficial in the run game to have a guy like this that's able to bootleg out the back door. And then we're learning that he can make these throws. I don't think he has a cannon arm. I don't think he has the biggest arm in the league, being 6'8", but I think he can make all the throws adequately. He can certainly throw from the run adequately. And you know what? He made some clutch throws, not just the touchdown at the end, but some real key third down throws under duress, which shows me he's got some toughness too. He got knocked around quite a bit. Man, they blitzed him. And he showed some good resiliency and toughness and good performance in the clutch.
Steve Mariucci joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, fresh off another busy Sunday that we all started on NFL Game Day morning, as we do every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So of the team, there's a whole handful of teams this morning, Steve, that are in playoff positions after having not been in one all season long. And I'd love to see which one you choose to have the largest threat. The Redskins sitting atop the NFC East right now because they have a better division record than the Giants. Seattle, which is now currently a 6th seed in the NFC, having to have maybe to go to Minnesota, by the way, should that ever materialize. Wouldn't that be great? And by the way, guess where Seattle is coming up this week?
At Minnesota.
Let's just throw that one out there for you. Also, you've got Houston and Kansas City suddenly sitting there in playoff positions. Which one do you think has the best chance to go deep into January, Steve?
The team that I wanted to talk about in yesterday's show, and you didn't want me to because it was like obvious, their Super Bowl team for the last 2 years, the Seahawks. You know what? They have 5 losses, yes, we know that, and they've lost some players and all of that. Now they lost Jimmy Graham too, but geez, you look at their record, 6-5. You look at their schedule. At Minnesota is a tough game, all right? We know that. Adrian Peterson looks like Adrian Peterson. But they play Baltimore, who's banged up, Cleveland, who's not very good, St. Louis, who's in a tailspin, Arizona at the end. So this is another team that could get in the playoff chase and do some damage. It's like Ohio State last year. They get into the Final Four, into the playoffs right at the very end, and they peak at the right time. Seattle could do that.
Well, the reason why I didn't want you to mention Seattle in that spot, and then Irvin did, because the conversation is which team that's, currently can go from mediocrity to a December run, and I thought you should go deeper than a team that's just had 2 Super Bowl appearances. That's why I went the Lions, Steve. That's why I pounded the table.
Well, Irv didn't hear you, I guess.
No, he didn't. He didn't in the meeting. We
don't listen to you much in the meetings, Especially Irv.
But I pounded the table for the Lions, 4-7, man. They could go.
How about the Lions? Restore the roar. Yeah. I know, and Martha Ford is really happy.
Because hell hath no fury like Martha Ford scorned, Steve. You know that? That's what I said on the show yesterday.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good game when the Packers go back there on a Thursday night football with the NFL Network and CBS.
That's CBS. And I have Stafford coming up in hour number 3. What have you seen from the running coot, Jim Bob Ball? What have we seen that hasn't really
Jim
come
Bob,
to the fore?
I don't know Jim Bob at all. I've never coached with him or anything, but they seem to be better in terms of taking care of the ball, a little bit less risky plays. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford is taking care of that thing a little bit better. They're utilizing Calvin Johnson more often. They're trying to be balanced with run and pass. You know what happens when somebody gets fired, okay? I think the intention is it's not like you're going to be better because of it. It's to send a message to the rest of the guys who are there. They're on alert. It's like, get it done or else you might be the next guy, And so they seem to be playing with more of a sense of urgency. Is it forever? We'll see. Or is it just the shock and awe treatment, But we'll see. The Lions are playing better. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they are going to finish stronger.
Well, Steve, using the analogy you just made as it's sending alert to everybody, the Dolphins have run out of alerts. I mean, they've run out of people to fire. Yeah. They fired Bill Lazor.
They're running out of scapegoats is what they're doing, and maybe they'll ask Ndamukong Suh to run the defense and the offense now.
He did not like Rappaport's report saying that, he called the players together and saying, I run the defense here. I'm going to be around for a long time. So
he didn't like Rap Sheet's report?
He did not like that report.
What did he say?
He Instagrammed out, things that criticized, reporters and things of that nature. Didn't quite like Rappaport's report. But what do you achieve of firing an offensive coordinator in Week 12 with an interim head coach? What does this achieve, Steve?
Nothing. They're trying to achieve, like what some of these other teams have. When they got the interim coach, there was a spark, right? Dan Campbell they won a couple games, and it was like, whoa, we got everybody's attention. And then now they're back to reality, and it's like, let's have another scapegoat. Maybe we'll get their attention again. And they're cleaning house gradually is what they seem to be doing. It's never the right time. Do you do it after the season? Do you do it now? Do you try to get their attention? Do you try to make a statement to the fans so people will show up at your next game? I don't know. They're reaching for answers over there because the Dolphins, they expected to be better. They're 4-7 and they expected to be a playoff team, and they're not. They spent a lot of money in the off season, and they're going to be drafting early again. It looks like.
Last thing for you, Steve. The Eagles can catch fire before the end of the season, or Chip Kelly, his first year as the general manager and coach, winds up in flames. Do you think there's any gray area, or that either one of those two things going to happen, Steve?
Well, that NFC East is such a wacky division right now. Anything can happen, and I dare say the Cowboys can even win the darn thing, if you can believe that. So I guess we're going to have to play this season out and see where Chip falls. I mean, he's 10-6 his first 2 years, Rich. It's not like he's been a failure. He's not. He's got offensively, he's got more 400-yard games than anybody in the league. They've done some good things. What they haven't done well is this year when Chip was granted the the responsibility of choosing the groceries. Those are head scratchers, and you see the guys that he let go yesterday, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, LaShawn McCoy, they all were great.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, those are guys we discarded, and now what? You know what I mean? So maybe they have to do something like what happened with Mike Holmgren over in Seattle and take away, some of the personnel responsibilities and get him some help so he doesn't go rogue on making some of these decisions, because you can't afford to make more mistakes with quarterbacks or discarding players too soon or what that is. But let's finish out the season. Heck, they could win the darn division. They're only a game away.
That's true. Steve, I appreciate the call in, and I will see you on Thursday before Packers and Lions on NFL Network and CBS.
CBS. Okay, Rich. Say hi to the guys, will you?
You got it. That's
Steve
Mariucci at Steve Mariucci here on the Rich Eisen Show.